we've had success over these last couple of years in just trading in smaller properties, 9, 12, 16, 20 units. I've got one under contract in East Dallas, 16 units, one on the market that's not units. I mean, I had a couple of bigger ones that fell out of contract because of equity issues or debt issues or capital needs. The bigger deals are just tougher to get done right now because, I mean, when, if prices went down 20%, a $40 million deal, might have lost $8 million, dollars worth of value, whereas a $4 million deal, lost 800. And
Yeah.
so the dollar amount is so big. And a lot of these smaller deals are more, your private buyers and kind of, which has always been really my bread and butter, working with
Okay.
private clients. So yeah, because right now there's just not a lot of inventory. We underwrite a ton of properties, but not a lot of them make sense.
Oh, wow. Awesome. Talking about, dealing with clients, your brokerage, what is it about the multifamily group that sets you apart, when it comes to, dealing with private ownership like that, carry us through your cycle of, building that relationship, then ultimately helping the investor, the owner of the property leased and through the cycles, getting them to the closing table with buyers also too, so.
I've got actually a great example of that recently. So I got called by a company out of Florida to sell a resort property in East Texas. It was a Holiday Inn timeshare property.
Okay.
And, I was flattered that they reached out to my partner and I for us to sell it. And as I got it, and we ended up doing an auction through the Crexy website. But
Okay.
what I realized is, you asked what sort of sets us apart. And it is that, they could have hired a large national company, publicly traded. But there's going to be 4 or 5 guys on the team, guys and gals on the team. They're all going to get a small piece of the deal, and no one is really going to work it that hard. Or, they can hire me, who's, going to take the lion's share of the fee, and I have a lot of expenses, so I'm incentivized, and they're going to get a veteran broker like me, or I'd say, tenured broker that is going to work the deal for them, and we're in contract to close here in about a week. So they're getting, with hiring my firm, a boutique firm, they're getting me. And that's another thing I tell them all the time is a lot of my competitors, they won't do the tours. I tell them I'll do the tours myself. I'll go out and sell the property itself. And
Okay.
that's a lot of them will send a junior guy or somebody on their team to go do the property tours. Well, I'll go out there and I'll sell it myself.
Great, great. What are the good questions investors should be asking you when they want to have you on their team? What are the good questions they should be asking that would really make it? Because I believe you're only as good as your team when it comes to all those things, and the relationship is what matters. What are the questions investors should be asking you when it comes to you helping them, selling, being the seller broker, or however you want to, be there to help them?
For investors that are trying to buy, what you need to be saying is, do you have a debt quote on this? Who's looked at this to size the loan, to who we're going to work with on the debt? You have somebody I can work with on it. What about a good attorney? Some good attorneys that I could talk to. What about title companies? And having these conversations, asking the broker for recommendations. What about management companies?
Okay.
What about insurance? What about tax consulting? What about contractors? Getting those types of asking those questions is going to how the brokers say, okay, yeah, this person's willing to be coachable, They're going to work with these, with some, and I'll give you three names. You don't, I'm not going to just give you one, but you go out and these are people that I know can get the job done and that I can on if you're telling me you're going to close this property. And then from a seller side, what I want to hear is, that I understand that, the market is not what it used to be and don't want to price this so high that no one looks at it, right? We need to do it appropriately so we can actually get people engaged in the sales process and looking for ways to add value and trying to understand the deal and really engage, just being like, oh my gosh, that's overpriced. I'm not gonna even underwrite it. It just from an eye test, it just sounds way too expensive.